This one from Rojas020397 is, in my opinion, one of the most important hot takes that there is out there, and it says, how is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video, and this is the very first video in my new garage. I did live stream in here the other day. If you were there, shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome, and I will be doing that more often. I plan on live streaming when I'm just working on my cars in here, doing other stuff. So if you're interested in that, subscribe, hit the notification bell. But today we are trying a new video style. We are just gonna be hanging out in here and just chatting back and forth. And today in particular, we're gonna be talking about some controversial car hot takes. I asked you guys on my Instagram, what are some hot takes that you guys have? And you guys said a lot of wild stuff. So I'm gonna pull out my phone right now and we're gonna look at a few of them, and I'm gonna let you know if I agree or disagree with you. If you see me switching arms back and forth, that's because this camera is heavy, so I apologize for that. And a tripod is a little too stagnant for my taste. I like moving around, I like having some freedom. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, first hot take comes from Pablo the Great 98, and he says, American cars are now the ultimate bang for your buck performance cars. And I have to 100% agree with that. I don't think that's a hot take. A lot of people do like JDM cars, Euro cars, but nowadays, especially with modern day performance cars, what car can you get that is out of the box 1,000 horsepower capable? All you need to do is supercharge it for less than 40 grand. If you don't know the answer is a Mustang GT. I can't think of another car that can do that, and if you can, feel free to comment down below. But even on the used end too, if you want a performance car that can do like pretty much everything, drift, roll racing, all that stuff, American cars like this one right here is probably your best bet. Well, probably not the 3-valve, okay? Probably not the 3-valve unless you're stupid like me and tossed in a built Gen 3 Coyote. But you guys get what I'm saying. On the used end too, American cars just depreciate a lot. So do it like European cars like BMWs and stuff. But I think best bang for your buck, I would have to agree, is American cars. I'm not saying they're the best overall, just best bang for your buck performance. But Drew, what about N54s? Zip it, okay? Those things, they're spotted more on the back of tow trucks than on the road, so I don't even want to hear it. All right, another one, I cannot pronounce this guy's username, but it says Lambos are ugly compared to Ferraris and McLarens. That I would have to say is a big swing and a miss. I do like how Lambos look. I actually don't think there's many ugly supercars out there. One of the ugly supercars I can think of is like the Ferrari California, but like thinking of Lambos right now, I can't think of an ugly looking Lambo. I guess everything is up to what you guys find looking aggressive or what looks cool. I mean, honestly, the 12C in my opinion isn't one of the best looking supercars, but it is also over 10 years old, so I would say Lambos look the most aggressive. I would say McLarens look the most futuristic, and Ferraris look the most elegant. I think I worded that perfectly. All right, next one is from Hated Vanity. It says, the Aztec ain't as bad as it seems. I watched the Top Gear episode, I believe it was Top Gear, and each of them picked out what they thought was the worst car, and the Aztec did win. It was just underpowered. It couldn't do what it claimed. It's a cool car and it has a lot of crazy features. I do think it came out a little bit too early, but I have to somewhat agree. I don't think it's as bad as people say, especially nowadays when all of the shitty SUVs are following the same trend of putting the plastic molding around the wheel arches. I'd say it's just ahead of its time. I don't think it's as capable as a lot of SUVs, but I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people make it out to seem either. All right, from Delta Irony, he said, most wide body kits look terrible, and I kind of agree with that. I think nowadays a lot of wide body kits either look super basic or they're just way too over the top. It's kind of hard to get a good elegant looking wide body kit. There are some companies that do make them, but for the most part, I'd probably agree. You see a lot of wide body cars at car meets, and they just look like either really ugly tacked on kits or just way too aggressive, way too over the top. And I'm not trying to stroke my own dick here, but I think this is a nice, simple looking wide body kit. It's not even that wide. It's just about as wide as a wide body Charger or Demon. It's just little flares, that's it. I think more kits need to be like this. In my own opinion, everything is subjective. That's why I own this car the way it is, because I like it. And it's not 6 inches wider, you know? Would it be cooler in some people's eyes? Yeah, but for my performance, I think this is perfect right here. And I wish more kits were like this. I actually saw an RSX with a very similar kit to this. I thought it looked sick as well. So I'd have to agree. Obviously, that's way more subjective than anything else though. All right, this one from Jared or Jard Ram says, 500 isn't a lot of horsepower. And I would have to say it depends on the car. That's a very vague and open-ended hot take, I would say if it's on something like a Miata, then obviously that's a lot of horsepower. But if it's on something like this, it's not that much horsepower. It is, and it's plenty to have fun with. I think I had more fun with my Supra at 550 horsepower than I do now over 700 horsepower, just because it's more usable. You can use it in more day-to-day situations rather than full throttle and praying to God you don't die. 500 horsepower on most modern cars, I will say, probably isn't as fast because all of these cars are way too heavy to where it's just not a great power to weight ratio. But depending on the car, I would say that that is correct. The next one says, calling the new Supra a BMW is annoying now, and I would have to agree. I used to be that guy that was calling it a BMW, and I do see it more now as a Supra. Although it does share a lot of the parts with it, I've grown up. I do really like the Mark V. I think it's a great car. I think it's a great platform. The B58 is as legendary as a motor, if not better than the 2J. Do I think it sounds as good? No, but it can make a lot of power. Very easily too. So yeah, I would say calling the new Supra a BMW is a bit childish. It's 2023, let's move on. All right, next one says Fox body equals best looking Mustang. This guy needs his eyes checked. I can name like 4 other Mustangs that look better than that. I think all of them except for the SN95 in fact look better than that. I would choose any other generation except the SN95. The new Edge looks better though, like the Terminator, one of the best looking Mustangs ever. I think any Mustang that came out after 2000 looks better, and it's not even close. Let me know your thoughts though down below. What's the best looking Mustang? Next one says NA Miata is the worst generation, and again, I would have to agree with that one. A lot of people love sucking the NA Miata's dick. It's all because of TikTok. It's got pop-up headlights. Nobody gives a shit except for you and your little TikTok followers and anyone else that owns an NA Miata. A lot of people hate on the NC, but in my opinion, it's one of the better platforms, especially if you're tracking it. It's a bigger car with a better wheelbase, a better motor. The NAs are just nostalgic. Grow up, okay? The goth girl will like your NC just as much as she likes the NA. Just grow up. This one from Rojas 020397 is, in my opinion, one of the most important hot takes that there is out there, and it says, I'll never sweat about having the fastest car because someone will always be faster, and I could not agree more. A lot of people want me to go balls to the wall with one of my builds, and I do want to. I do want to go balls to the wall, and I do want to send my motor or my pistons to the moon eventually. But in my opinion, I just like having my cars at a fun, reliable horsepower. They're all slightly different. Like this one makes 700, but it handles a lot better. If I add 200 more horsepower, I'm going to be overpowering everything else on the car. Probably not the brakes with the giant carbon ceramics, but it won't be as fun of a car. It'll be more of just a straight line car. So I'm kind of happy with where that's at. This one is already struggling to put the 900 plus horsepower down, and I am doing something next week. I am taking it in to have something changed on it, and it'll actually probably help my situation, and I think we might be able to pop wheelies after that, but we'll have to see. But anyways, this motor's capable of 1500, but what's the point? There's always going to be some dude in a twin turbo Lambo, a twin turbo Viper. There's always going to be some dude. I really don't care. I know I can if I wanted to, but I'm happy that I'm not. Like if somebody beats me, it's like whatever, I don't care. Usually it's also they have 1 car, I have 6, so who cares? If I really wanted to build this one to have 2000 horsepower, I could. I just don't care. And it is really relaxing to have that mindset too, because you just have a lot more fun out there. It's not as much of a competition or a dick measuring contest. So honestly, that is one of the better hot takes out there. I 100% agree with that one. All right, next one says, it's better to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. That one is 100% incorrect. I think that is the dumbest argument I've ever heard for people saying that like supercars are whack or building your car is whack, or they're just like, I don't know. Usually those people have a slow car and the logic doesn't make sense. Why would you drive a fast car slow? Either A, you're not a good driver, or B, you've never driven a fast car. That's the only explanation I can think of. I've heard that so many times on Instagram. People saying, oh, it's better to drive a slow car fast. You can drive an NA Miata balls to the wall all the time, or through a canyon. You can send it through a canyon. You'll have so much fun. You could do that with fast cars too. You could do that with this. I mean, you can't send this through a canyon. You will probably go over the edge of the canyon. You'll find a crowd somewhere. But you guys get what I'm saying. Like, you could drive a fast car fast too. Like, and if you're saying, well, you can send the Miata through traffic as hard as you want and you'll barely break the speed limit, that sounds boring. I don't know about you, but that sounds boring. So Yeah, no, not siding with that one. Another hot take, JDM cars are better than supercars. I feel like this kind of like hammers in what I just said. First of all, no. I've had both. I have a supercar, and I have my Supra, and I have my WRX, and I would choose this one over both of those. Not because I like it that much more, but this one's way more capable than both of those cars. It could go through corners, I could track it, I could beat the shit out of it, and it's very unlikely that it'll break. I know that's ironic being a McLaren and all, and it is kind of broken right now, but my point is I could beat the shit out of a supercar and it'll take it. It can sit comfortably at 150 miles an hour, 180 miles an hour, hell, some of them even 200 miles an hour, where a JDM car like a Supra or any older 90s shitbox, they're going to have a lot more issues. And I know I'm upsetting a lot of people right now, but it's just the harsh reality of it is these cars are a lot more comfortable sitting at higher speeds, and they feel a lot safer, and they are a lot safer than a JDM car. Now, do JDM cars look better? In my opinion, some do, some don't. Once again, that's all subjective, and that one will definitely rustle a few feathers, but it's the truth. I'm speaking the truth. By the way, I get my Supra back tomorrow with a new wrap, and I think I get something for the Subi too. So if you're excited, subscribe. All right, we'll do like one or two more. Don't know if I agree or disagree yet. I guess I'll think about it for a second, but it says, people that build their own cars do not make them better than someone who bought a car built. And in my opinion, it can go both ways. If you buy a car built, but you act like you built it, then you're a shitty person. And if you also rub it in that you bought it built, I guess you're a shitty person. But it all just kind of depends on how the person carries themselves. Like, I bought this car originally and it had a built 3-valve and it had a supercharger already on it. And I did that because it was a great foundation for a great price. Now, since then, I've done a lot of stuff to it to where 90% of it isn't even the same car, different motor, different transmission, all different suspension, different wheels, different brakes. Everything is pretty much different except for the car itself. But I also wasn't repping like I built it myself, you know? But also, it goes the other way too. If you build your car yourself and you're an asshole and you make fun of people that don't, especially when your car is poorly built, like I've seen a lot of people's cars that they build themselves and they're complete shit boxes that rarely run. There's this famous quote, I think you guys will understand it. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Enough said. Teslas are pretty cool, just fugly to look at. If you've never ridden in a Plaid, I will understand that you will not relate to this, but the acceleration force that you feel when a Plaid is launching, it's undescribable. It is like nothing I've ever felt before. That instant torque pushing you into the back of the seat is insane. And maybe I'll rent a Tesla here pretty soon just so I could show you guys better, and I'll give you a better opinion on it. I actually forgot what the hot take said. What did it say? Oh, it said Teslas are pretty cool. To an extent, yes. Are they overpriced? I would probably say yes. Is the quality pretty bad based on what I've seen? Yes. But are they pretty impressive cars for what they are? I'd say yes. Now, I know people will say, Drew, why would I microwave a burger when I can grill it? You know, a lot of people will say that. That's a very common argument that they say. But if you just look at the stats of a lot of these Teslas compared to other supercars and stuff, the stats alone kind of speak for themselves. Those cars are pretty impressive on a performance side. And in my opinion, I think it's like the most fun daily a person could probably have. Imagine just being able to accelerate with instant torque, very good traction, very comfortably, non-stop without making a noise to have cops fuck with you. That's like an ideal situation. If this thing made no noise, yeah, it would be lamer because I do love the noises that the Coyote makes. But if it made no noise, I could drive it a lot harder and not worry about a cop hearing me. There's a reason why all these supercars now are either hybrid assisted or going electric. Nothing will be able to replace the feeling of a gas motor, but it could replace the feeling of a fast acceleration. That's all. Anyways, guys, let me know your opinion on these hot takes down below, and I think we'll do another video like this. So if you want to send one to me, follow me on Instagram at ___ Drew Peacock. Also, if you like this layout, I am going to update my garage in a bit, but if you like this layout of me chatting with you guys instead of me sitting in my room with the camera on, let me know. Subscribe, and until next video, peace.